Cecilia know what they are planning, because you can't say because there was COVID-19 you shut down everything and everybody went to sleep. So we need to know their plans for post COVID-19. That's what we're trying to do.
Because I know that Prof will want to build on what happened in 2019 and
Beautiful,
all that.
yeah,
We're qualifying for the cricket championship. And for the first time under 19 in the 100 years of its history, went to the World Cup and all that. You also had the women's team, the senior team, also making the African qualifiers, participating in the African qualifiers for the first time. That's the T20 tournament. And when you have all of this, you want to build on it. But 2020 that we had so much expectation starting the year.
Yeah.
But what happened?
I know,
the pandemic just tell everyone, you know what, put everything on hold. And then we're happy. We're hoping and praying that sooner it's going to be, it will definitely go away. I mean, we've had over the centuries and all that, the Spanish flu and some other flu, some disease that will just come, the virus and all that. But somehow scientists work so hard to get a vaccine for it. And of course, medications will come. And before you know it, it goes away just the way it happens. So that's our prayers here, so that those sports that we're preparing for, things they wanted to do, they can just go back and
that's what it is, Cecilia. We must see the good from COVID-19. Maybe it's a time for reflection. Maybe it's a time to sit back and
how do you see good in it?
No, we must see the good. We mustn't just say, oh, it's bad, 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 because some persons, federations will come out and say, oh, it was COVID-19. That's how we couldn't do anything again. We must see the good in it and then jump into proper planning. Let's go back to Kaduna. That's where the president of the Nigeria Cricket Federation is speaking to us from this morning. Let's go back, Professor Yahaya Okonya. We hope to have him on the program. Cecilia, let me go on from where you stopped. The momentum they built from 2019 was beautiful. Even before we got to the Under-19 World Cup, the Under-19 team, it was unbeaten during the qualifiers. It was beautiful. And right there is age grade. It's the grassroots. So we keep saying that if you give a child that went to a competition when he was 17, a 10-year program, in 10 years' time, he'll be 27. And he would have gotten 10 years experience playing cricket. Not that they come back now, you disband everything, you bring a new coach, you go and pick. Sometimes we even fight with age cheats. So it's all about, that's why I say we must see the good in this. So for instance, Professor Yaya and his team, they've been saying that they want to stay with the grassroots. If you speak to the Vice President, they will tell you the same thing, that they are staying with the grassroots. They did an Under-17 national championship, picked some players from there that will now go and join this Under-19 that went to South Africa. You mentioned the women's cricket team qualifier for the African qualifiers, which is so good. That was another avenue for us to take a look at women's cricket. Because I meet people and said, does women play cricket tonight? Yes.
They think they don't.
Almost all the sports will have women playing it, but we must find a way. When I say we need to see the good in this, it's us to sit back and say, oh, we thought we couldn't do this and this and this. Maybe we weren't thinking. COVID-19 has given you a window to sit down now and plan, say, come together. We were not thinking, can you find a way now? I said to the viewers that cricket has been played in this country for so long. The federal government colleges, when we were growing up, it was cricket. Who is talking football? When Igbobi College and King's College wants to play cricket, I keep saying that it's not about the students in school. It's the old boys.
Of course.
The old boys are coming to school to watch cricket. That's how big it is in this country. And we hope that we get the presidents to join us on the show. We just want to know how cricket in Nigeria is holding on in this COVID-19. And, of course, evaluate their plans for survival. So if we get Professor Yaya Okonya, we're going to just go right back to Kaduna now and just hopefully get a clean network to talk to him this morning. Good morning, President. If you can hear me, welcome again to Sports This Morning.
Oh, morning.
Awesome. Okay, so let's stay
to be with you.
Yeah, let's stay with this one now. You're trying to tell me what the Federation is doing during this pandemic.
Yes, as I was telling you, I had quite a number of plans for 2020. Having gone through a number of competitions in 2019, we were supposed to have less international competitions in 2020, although there were some very important ones like the Africa Cricket Tournament, and then we're also supposed to go for World Cup qualifier. That would have held early in this June. We are the defending under-19 champions, so we were not supposed to go for the Division 2 this year. It would have been next year. But what we were planning to do was to concentrate more on our grassroots program. We decided it was about time to invest heavily on grassroots development, particularly with school cricket. One of the major opportunities for Nigeria to excel in sports and in cricket particularly is to concentrate on the school children, because we have one of the largest population of children in school age in the world. And this is the building block we will need to work from. And we felt that we needed to expand the process that started from the colonial times, when a number of government institutions from the colonial period were introduced to cricket and were playing cricket. Now, what we want is to take this process to as many schools, if not all the schools in the country. And this was a massive project, and we already made the arrangements. We needed some equipment from India to kickstart the program, but I mean, with the COVID-19 lockdown, factories were closed in India, and that stalled the program. But we're still anticipating that even if we got 3 months at the end we're able to save 3 months at the end of the year, we will start that program, because it's important for the future of the game.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for that one. We'll go on a quick break, but President, stay with us. We'll be right back to you. It's Post this morning on Channels Television. Let's take this break. When we come back, we'll get right back into that conversation. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us.
Now, the question I'm going to ask him is, what are the measures that you have actually put in place? The measures you have actually put in place to ensure that, cricket is played in all schools across Nigeria as the president of the federation?
At the moment, I will tell you that we've done some work on school mapping. And this meant that on a state-by-state basis, the state-owned schools and the federal government-owned schools will be mapping them out with the help of officials from the Federal Ministry of Education and also from state ministries of education. So we'll be working together to map out the schools. The other thing that we've been doing is running seminars during this sensitization. During this COVID-19 period, we've had a number of sensitization seminars. It started as a national seminar, then we've gone through 3 states now, South-South, 3 zones now, South-South. Yesterday, we held seminars with representatives of the Southwest and North Central zones. And I believe by next weekend, we'll be working with the Northwest and the Southeast. And these seminars are supposed to get everyone involved to understand the process, how the process is going to work. In addition to that, the key issue is to have equipment that is easy for the school children to use, and cost-effective and safe as well. And we are collaborating with a company in India to produce cost-effective equipment. It's hybrid plastic. It's a little bit tougher than the usual plastic, so that it's more durable. And we are waiting for the first set of shipment, which will about 1,000 sets. A set contains a number of bats and balls and wickets that you can use. We already tested it, and the children love this equipment. And we feel that this is the best way to get the children, to attract the children to the game. The other area we are working on is on financing the project. we've planned that, okay, from our own budget, we should be able to provide some of the funding. But in addition to that, we have approached the International Cricket Council to support us with a grant. And I remember that at the beginning, there were about 27 to 30 countries that applied. Nigeria was one of the 7 that were shortlisted for the final interview before the COVID-19 started. I would say that we're still hopeful that we will succeed with the interview, and a little bit more funds from International Council to support this program will make it easier for us. Because one of the key problems of school sports in Nigeria is the funding. We're not saying that the cricket body alone should take total responsibility for the funding. Sports should be run by partnership, which we finance by partnerships between government, between the sporting bodies, between the private sector, and also individuals. And then again, we need the schools as well to key in. Because if the process works, it's a win-win situation for everybody. Because, for instance, when you have a child that dedicates his time, extra time to sports, that child is a child that is away from likely to be away from antisocial activities. You are also influencing the physical and the mental development of the child. So this is good for the society. Yeah. Good for the society, for the children to be engaged in sports.
We love it.
And I believe this is one area that we have been missing for a while.
I agree with you, President, because when we were doing so well with cricket, it's because of the programs we took to the school. So well done. We will monitor the progress of everything you've talked about as regards grassroots cricket development. Right after the Under-19 Cricket World Cup, your federation told us that you sealed some strategic partnerships with good cricket-playing countries such as England, Pakistan, and even India. What progress have we made with those partnerships?
I can tell you that even during this COVID-19, a lot has been going on, in the background. For instance, now, as a result of these partnerships, we are for the first time going to have a properly contracted foreign coach. A lot went on for a while in the background, and we believe that by the time the restrictions and lockdown is eased and people can travel, the coach will come for unveiling. I can tell you that this gentleman is a world-class person in terms of his cricketing pedigree. He was a World Cup winner and played for many years for Sri Lanka. So that's something that has come out of that partnership. I can also tell you that Australia Cricket has sent us some equipment, and they're at the moment in South Africa, because they've been shipped through South Africa, and again, COVID-19 has slowed everything down. So I'm sure this equipment is for school children, and that will help us in our grassroots program. We work very closely with the senior cricketing countries in Africa, like Zimbabwe. They are ever willing to take our players for tours and to help us prepare for tournaments. This has been suddenly established with them. South Africa also has been there. They were very much there for us in the last World Cup because it was a new terrain for us, and they were the host, and they did all they could to help us get into the right shape for the tournament. And we are grateful to these countries, for the support they've been giving us so far. The International Cricket Council sees the opportunity for the game to grow in Nigeria because they appreciate the direction that the Federation has taken in the last few years. And again, they've been encouraging us, trying to support us in every one of the the projects that we planned over this, ever since we came in on board.
Okay, all right, Prof. I mean, you know, last year was a good one for cricket. Apart from the under-19 and all that, we also had the female senior team participated at the African qualifiers for the first time. How are you going to build on that going forward after COVID?
We have very important plans for the female cricket. And we are on the verge also of employing for the first time a female cricket services manager for the Federation, who will oversee female cricket specifically. The other thing we have planned is that 50% of the resources for grassroots development will go to the girls, because we feel that this is an area that we can work on. So 50% of the investment in grassroots development will be for females. And again, we have the female competitions, that are going to continue regularly, interstate female competitions, that we see that those crop of players that are playing at the moment are competing regularly, and we're getting the best out of them. But what I can tell you is that whatever we put into the male cricket, we are also equally putting into the female cricket as well, because we are behind in this area. We didn't start female cricket development early in Nigeria. But nevertheless, we still feel that within a few years from now, we should be able to compete favorably with the best female teams on the continent. All
right. We really can't wait for that to happen, and we really want to appreciate you for taking our time to talk to us this morning. Professor Yahaya Ukwayen, that's the president of Nigeria Cricket Federation, just throwing more light, a whole lot of issues from the age grade tournaments to the elite level, and of course to the female sport that he says they want to really focus on. And the fact that it's going to be 50-50.
I know that one exciting.
That's exciting. 50% here. If you're putting 50% for the men, you also want to put 50% for the women. And since they started late, so they want to actually put everyone at par, which is really great for the girls who are playing cricket in school.
Remember what I said about COVID-19, saying, look, you guys are not thinking. And you just wait. It's not about competitions, because it seems as all our sports administrators want to do. The Cricket Federation now, they say first they will get a female cricket services manager, manage women's cricket. And that most of these things they will get, 50% will go into this, which is what we've been talking about for football also. In a way, Cecilia, it's not until they say you pay the same money to men and women that they are achieving equality.
Thank you. Put the structure in place.
That's what they are trying to do already, you know. And we must keep them accountable. We must keep asking questions. You know? That's why I said those strategic partnerships. We went to the World Cup, and some of these big cricket playing nations, like, wow, they have prospects. And one thing that the International Cricket Council have done, Cecilia, they always make sure that they support countries that are coming up with their cricket. So Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, they will assist you.
All sports are doing that. Most of the sports just now we don't hear about it. All right. Let's talk about Nigerian Professional Football League. I mean, it's a wonderful report, you know, on the return of our league. And especially after that heartbreak that we heard from, you know, the boss himself, and saying, look, we're not excited about it. Well, let's take a look at this report. And after that, Shola Rogers will be joining us to talk about this and also shed more light on cricket.
Beautiful goal scored by MFM's Clement Ogu in their 2-1 victory over Abia Warriors in Lagos. Sadly, that was the last time the fans witnessed league action. The COVID-19 pandemic stopped the fun.
I want to see this league come back. I fear for the worst. This league might not come back.
Meet Eukaria. She does food business at the Agege Stadium and is a supporter of MFM Football Club.
We have missed a lot of things in our football team. We want it back. Please, government should help us, please.
The German Bundesliga and Spanish La Liga have resumed action. England and Italy are also set to return. What are the plans for Nigeria?
I'm not sure we are excited about opening up for sporting activities, knowing fully well that sporting activities in our country, particularly the game of soccer, attracts large crowds. large gatherings are banned except, not to exceed 20 people except for places of work. I don't see the excitement that will be achieved if we allow sporting activities, particularly soccer like the Premier League, to resume in an empty stadium. A lot of the European countries where these games are big businesses have started looking at the prospect of returning to the pitches. But they are doing it in a deliberate and a very, very slow-paced manner. And most countries are saying that when they finally resume, it will be teams playing in empty stadia or stadium. We will get there too.
Some leagues in Africa have been cancelled, and that's been a major debate amongst football followers in the country.
I think the most feasible option is option 3 at the moment. That will see us going for the playoffs, at least to have a fair chance of giving the top teams a chance to compete for the title.
We should not go for any Super 6. There's nothing like Super 6. If you go for Super 6, won't crowd go to watch the game? Please, let us end it this way and properly organize ourselves for 2021 season.
The fans can't wait to have their football back. The government is asking for some time to monitor the situation. Whenever a decision is made, one thing is certain. With COVID-19, it won't be business as usual for football in Nigeria. From the Agege Stadium in Lagos, Austin Okonakpan, Channels Television News.
Yeah, empty stands there, but then we're just hoping one day we'll get to play football there again. But for now, we'll have to wait for a very, very long time. Shola Rogers is in the studio. Shola, good morning. It's good to have you join us this morning.
Good morning, guys. I'm just wondering how he got here from the stadium in a few seconds.
I do this sort of magic.
That kind of magic.
Good to have you, Shola. Cecilia, I think we'll wait for a long time.
Well,
she knows something we don't know.
Well, emphasis on long, but she didn't stretch the long, so maybe it's just that long that
it's a short long.
Yeah, but it's an interesting situation. Everybody knows that we also need to be careful. We don't want to be the ones to cause more problems when we know that we're most likely entering the pandemic stage now in Nigeria, where the numbers are on the rise, as against when we had lower numbers and we're on lockdown. Now that there's kind of free movement in a way, the numbers are on the rise. So I also would say, look, we don't need to rush to bring back the league. We need to be careful. There's no need to rush because the lives of the players are more important to us than any other thing. The lives of the officials and especially the fans. So whatever we do, I'll just plead for a little bit of caution. Yeah,
very, very important caution. But it's been a heated debate among football followers in Nigeria. Everyone is talking about is when will the league return? The SGF just said, everybody relax.
Yeah.
And it made very valid points. Yeah. First, there's a ban on large gatherings, and we know that it will be difficult to 10 persons going to the stadium. So I always tell my colleague, Dimnodi Okonta, that Aqua United is playing MFM, and then you say it's closed door. Then somebody passes and says it's Aqua 4, MFM 1. They are doing our team Ojoro. They go and pack everybody, and then they go into that. So it's going to be difficult. But a valid point he made also was, do we have this as a business? Shola, is football business in this country?
Strong one. I don't want us to get into that this morning.
No, that's what the SGF raised it, that in those countries where they are opening, it is business.
Because we've not made it to be a business. That's the problem.
That's why
they need to
the rest of the program will not even be enough for us to answer that question if it's a business or not. You don't want to be seen as just putting a negative or positive light on something that you have not shed enough light on. So I don't want us to get into that aspect of it. But it was a good question that he asked. And that question is not really for me and you to answer. It's for the managers of the league, the owners of the brand, the people who have managed this brand to say, oh, it's a business. XYZ has been made, XYZ can be made, and this is what we're doing. Let's see their books, let's see the projections, let's see the figures. If we don't see the figures, then we can't go back to the SGF to say it is a business. We can't. So the people who have the figures, this is a good time to sell the league. This is a good time to tell the whole world that it is a business. But if they can't answer that, I can't.
I know, very tough. I forgot some more time. We'll just jump into this one. Everybody's talking about the resumption of the league. So I pitched two brothers. Their opinions differ. Tajuddin Disu and his elder brother, Coach Tunde Disu. We will go on this break. When we come back, we're going to listen to their opinions. Should the league return or should it be cancelled? That's the debate. Don't go anywhere.
Money is involved. They are no more working. There's no money. They are not paying their salary. Everybody's unhappy about that. So I think with time now, we should be to make sure that we go back to normal thing. Most of these players want to go to Europe too. The scouts are looking because they recognize with Nigeria. Nigeria produce highly qualified players, skillful players, intelligent players, technical players. So I think we should start. But health is very important. We don't want nobody to die on the pitch. So we should start. But with time, not because those guys who are away now, the coaches are involved. They have to start their training, technical training, tactical training, fitness training. Most of them are doing their fitness training, but they are not programmed. So he has one or two problems. So, but I think it will all go well if we start the competition.
One thing I tell people is that when you want to talk about the league now started in some Europe countries or whatever, don't compare the way they run football there or what they do there here. Here, we don't even respect law. We do things at will. Our administrators are not doing the right thing. Where you do all those rubbish there, you'll be called to order. So you can't tell me that because they are starting their own. We are not even. So we should wait. Let's wait. That's what I feel. Oh. If you say, okay, we want to go and play now, play inside closed door. Definitely. And you say we are doing this because of Corona. We are doing it. You will still have that contact. We will still go there and go. So all those things will still be there if we still play. So if we feel those things are still there, this virus is still there out there, then why is starting? I don't know, because there will be contact. You will go over there. It's not because. So all those things is there. So it doesn't make any sense why you've kept everybody, indoors all the while, because the thing is still there, and they say it's still there. You want to go and play. You say fans should not come to the stadium, but the players too will still get that contact, get that physical contact, and all that stuff. So I don't think it's time yet. It's unfortunate. I want the game to go on. I want the game to be played. We all love this game, but with what he said, they are the one who said it. So I think we should relax a little bit, and when they feel this thing is no more out there, then we go.
So I have to pitch two brothers, let me see. Coach Tunde Disu says, let's bring it on. It's a business. Coaches are involved, players are involved. Younger brother says, no. They said there's still COVID-19. So, Shola, that's the debate out there, and it will continue until we get the league back.
But if you really want to have this debate, go with the facts and figures. What are the facts? Nigeria went into a lockdown when we had less than 100 cases. Now we are close to 20,000. And counting.
We're not close, please. 15,000 plus, please.
Well, whatever. Bottom line is the numbers are on the increase. There are times when in a single state you get as much as 300, and some states everybody has this thing
we've
now.
Recorded over 600.
Yes, in one day. So if we really want to go by facts and figures, if the numbers are on the increase, why do you want to expose more people? Because I remember that the president has said that it's down to people now and their own personal hygiene and their own decision to stay safe. So I feel that we need to be careful. Football will be there forever. So let us be patient. And the same league that was stopped for whatever reason and a winner was picked suddenly is finding it difficult to do what they have done in the past. I don't know, man, for real. So I believe strongly that the league should still be suspended if we care. If we care about people's safety.
Okay. All right. We'll wait and keep waiting, right? Okay, let's go to Spain where football return because they know if they don't return to football, €1 billion will be lost So that's the reason they start the league. Real Madrid were in action in the weekend, and that's going to be our focus this morning because they won 3-1 against Eibar. If we can take a look at some of the results played on Sunday, Atletico Madrid, it was Diego Costa who had to save them. Save Diego Simeone the blushes because they were a goal down, and before he scored that goal, it was 1-0. And Real Sociedad and Osasuna also played 1-0. But Real Madrid just chasing after Lionel Messi actually got a goal. Got a goal and 2 assists the weekend. And Real Madrid looked at that 4-0 result over Real Mallorca, and they said, okay, they can afford to drop the ball, and they also had to get a win, 3-1. That was what they did. Okay, now let's just take a look at the game that's the Real Madrid game, and of course the Real Betis, what happened. And Eibar.
Well, first things first, it's good to have football back in the Spanish La Liga. A lot of people are not big fans of the Bundesliga. The Bundesliga started a couple of weeks ago, but the buzz, you can't compare to what has happened in the last 4 days that Spain has brought us premium football and all of that. And of course, everybody is chasing one team and one player. So whatever Madrid or Eibar or Atletico, whatever they do, is still in the shadows of FC Barcelona. But I'm glad that at least, apart from these games that were drab, 1 all draws, Madrid were able to put 3, between the sticks. However, shine still goes back to the top team and the way they're playing over the couple of weeks. We saw how they've been building up. They've been playing some friendlies. They've been training and all of that, and the results are glaring. Barcelona is still miles ahead.
Okay. Miles ahead. It's just 2 points, right?
Oh, no, I'm not talking about
because of
the gap. It's the way they played, actually. It didn't look like they were
on a break. Yeah.
A couple of things are still struggling to get to find their rhythm, to get into it, But Barcelona picked up on where they left off. They were like a house on fire, and they still are a house on fire. They're guns blazing, scoring those goals. Messi running them ragged, acting like he owns.
I was waiting for him to score because that's the only confirmation that La Liga is back.
And he did.
And he did. Arguably the last kick of the game. So that's Messi for you.
Always Messi, man.
All right, the papers with the goats, right? Yeah. The papers now. I'll start with Complete Sports here. Complete Sports, where you have into the back on Man United. Transfer radar. Okay, this is not going to leave. Top 10 Nigerians in APL history. You have it on Complete Sport. Iheanacho offered for sale at £20 million. Coutinho desperate for Liverpool return. And Miles Awoniyi is cautious again. After he was actually hospitalized for a head injury, but right now he's back and feeling okay.
I'm happy about Awoniyi, because we saw the pictures and the short video on social media. And it was really scary, 23 minutes into a game. Now that the coach has started looking his way, now that it looks like he's about to really break into, the top flight, he gets this one. But better safe than sorry. I am glad that he's safe, and hopefully he'll be able to get back to the game soon.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at the Sporting Life newspaper. Front page coming from Coach Geno Ross. Osimhen is Nigeria's future. Eagles coach, thumbs up, Simon Maja and Carlos. Everybody's talking about Victor Osimhen. Cecilia also talks about him.
She does a lot, actually.
so Shala, is it really the future?
He's a brilliant player.
Yeah.
Osimhen is the future. Osimhen is a fantastic footballer. He's really, really young. He's fast, and he's the kind of player that is versatile. He can play as a top 9. And he can still play behind your top striker or even out wide. That's the kind of guy you want to build your team around. I feel that Geno Rowe and everybody that's talking about Osimhen know why they're talking about him. Because he's really, truly, and indeed one of the best we have at the moment. And I pray he has a long career so that we can actually build the team around him.
Nice.
All right, the last paper for review this morning is Sporting Sun, and you still have Osimhen making the headline, and also Awoniyi rushed to the hospital for concussion. But the good thing is, he's awake and good now. And EPL to Pampa, Igalo, Iwobi, and Ndidi. What does this mean? You find that on Sporting Sun. But we'll have to go and leave the studio before business money chases out.
Thank you so much, Shala Rogers.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's always fun.
Always a delight. Thank you.
All right, thank you guys for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Do have a fantastic day.
Thank you so much. Let's do this again tomorrow. Until then, I'm Austin Okonakman. In everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.